I'm a teacher by trade, and some 20-plus years ago, superintendent called me about doing some stuff on school safety and student discipline. And because I've always done a lot of work in that in schools. And retired University of Mississippi, that's where I was then. Now I'm in Arkansas, University in Arkansas. And so he wanted some stuff on gangs. I didn't know anything. I told him, and he said, well, find out. So I started writing to law enforcement, found out, and it just grew from there.
All right. And so can you tell me what you have found with cults specifically dealing with cow mutilation? What's the appeal? What do they tend to do? Just kind of tell me what you found.
I've worked all types of animal mutilations, particularly farm animals, and this particular situation that you describe in your email reminds me of a cow mutilation that I worked, gosh, it's been probably 15 years ago. It's very, very, very similar. At that particular time, and this is why it reminds me of that particular case, the people that were doing this would turn out to be some satanic people. They would go to a cow in a field, particularly at night. In this case, they would go to a cow at night out in the field. Generally, they're not as spooky as they are in the daytime. And they would spray Freon in the cow's nostril when they breathe, and the cow sort of go in a catatonic state. And they would take a needle and tubing like used in a funeral home and puncture into one of the cow's arteries or veins. Main one, and literally just the cow's heart would pump the blood out. And you mentioned no blood, this type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then they would remove the udder, is this case, and they would do some interesting things with it in ceremonies, both the blood and the udder. In this case, the genitals being removed, they probably did some spooky things with those. Particularly with Satanists, the more bizarre it is, the more outlandish it is, the more crude it is, it's more pleasing to Satan. And that's part of what's behind all of this stuff.
So that case was proved to be from a satanic cult. That was actually who did that mutilation?
Yes, ma'am. We were able to track that down.
And where did that take place?
It was a state in the South.
Now, so that was one particular case. Have you worked others that of animal mutilations, or specifically cow mutilations, that have been linked to cult activity?
I've worked several others, but it really wasn't enough there to tell, and it was long after the fact. It wasn't fresh,
Mm-hmm.
like the one I just described. And so that's been the primary one that we could directly link to a group of individuals. Did you by chance, can you go back or interview someone that can go back and resurrect what dates of the month these things occurred, and in what nights, and what was the position of the moon on those nights?
Well, I actually think that would probably be fairly easy, because this recent one happened a week ago, like 2 Mondays ago. So last week, Monday. And I'm not sure what the position of the moon was, but does that factor in with cult activity, satanic cults?
Yes. Whether it's a waxing moon, waning moon, or full moon, and the date. Because in Satanism, combination of dates are critical. It also depends on the degree of sophistication that these people are. And evidently, perfectly clean, no blood, this type thing. Typically, the more sophisticated the cult is, the cleaner, I'm going to use the word or body parts. How was the animal killed? Do you know that?
That's what they're trying to find out now. They're having a necropsy at the University of Georgia vet med school. They're looking into it, and one of them was poisoned. This happened back in May to 3 of their cows, and one of those bodies was taken, and they determined that it was poisoned, but they can't decide. They can't decipher which poison yet. I think they're trying to do that, but that's sort of difficult for animals, I guess. And then this past one that happened, last week, that is also at the vet med, and they're trying to figure out that one, if that's also poison or what. So that's still undetermined. So when did this happen? The one that you're talking about with the cows and the satanic cult. How many years ago was that?
Oh gosh, it's been at least 15 years ago, I would say.
Okay. And have cults been on the rise, or kind of decreasing since then?
This is just based on experience, because it's hard to get a handle on it. That if you want to put some stat on it, because it's so secret. I think it's been on the increase by what I get and what I see on the internet and so forth, particularly, since that cow mutilation many moons ago. Now so many things, are run over the internet and Facebook, and things I'm able to tap into. So, yes, I think it's on the increase.
Okay.
It's been that way. It's nothing new about the increase in that.
Right. Now, just from hearing what I've told you about this case, do you think that this is a cult?
I would conjecture it is. I don't think it's a prank. Whether these people have some known enemies or something, and they're somebody's taking revenge on them. I don't know that side of it. I have worked situations, particularly homicides, where individuals have stepped up on cults and tried to rig it as a cult, but really it wasn't, because they didn't do some things that a cult would do,
Right.
Now, that leads me to ask this question: was any other marks or anything on the cow, or anything on the cows, or anything?
I don't think they've been able to find anything except just these, these organs removed.
Right. This sounds like a cult because of the sophistication and, again, I'm going on what I'm reading here about perfectly removed in a perfect clean way, and no blood or other traces. Those are telltale signs.
And is there any particular reason that you would think that a cult would choose just one farm to go after? Because there are other neighboring cow farms that haven't even been touched at all.
It may be that on this farm it's relatively convenient to get to, relatively isolated. You indicate it's the backside. This type of thing. Because obviously they want to get in and out of an area to lessen the odds of being seen.
Right.
Someone, whether it's the individual doing this or someone else, has got to be familiar with that area too. They've done some good intel one way or the other, because they know how to get in and out of there, and where the cow's located, and how to get in and out of that farm.